So today I'm going to be showing you some really simple, easy cuts, easy techniques that you can be doing with your Donald Scott razors. I'll be using around 2 or 3 different types of razors. One in particular, the Stik Pro, I'll be using 2 of them. Now, the reason why I'm using 2 is this one here, I've got a nice fresh blade in it. And with the fresh blade, I can do a lot more of a sharper edge on the actual cut, and this one is a slightly dull blade, which will give me a little bit more softness on the actual effect of when I actually use it. The third razor I'll be using is the Donald Scott DSX4. It's got a guarded blade on it, and we'll be able to do all the neckline. Because it's got the guarded blade on there, we won't be able to cut the skin. It's a safe razor, but it is really down to the skin. It's like a cutthroat blade. And we'll also be using the Donald Scott NYC carving comb. This is the fine one. On this side here, we've got 50% cut and 100% cut on that side too. So let's crack on and let's do some cutting. So the first thing to remember when you're using any razor, especially the Donald Scott NYC razor range, you need to be putting on prepare. Now this prepares the hair for the actual razor cut. So in here we've got coconut oil, and we've got sunflower oil as well. Now this kind of separates the hair and makes it a lot more lubricant as you're working with it. Now when you're using something like this, you're kind of thinking, well, is it going to weight the hair down? You know, the end result, is it going to be floppy? The answer is no. It is, yes, it is an oil, but it does, because of the sunflower oil, coconut oil, there is actually soap powder in there too. Now the soap powder, again, separates those 2 oils and leaves it very light throughout the hair. But it's essential when you're using the Donald Scott razors. It's essential that you prepare the hair with this product. So I've already sort of pre-cut my model's hair. As you can see, we've got like a really nice sort of short effect here, but as we come towards the front, we've left these really cheeky kind of like little lengths here. We'll be tidying up the hairline, but here we've got, it's quite heavy, it's quite bulky, and I want to reduce some of that, but I love the length. The length's really nice. So we're going to go in straight away with fine carving comb. As I separate the hair here, I'll just angle the head so you can see exactly. Now I can just easily just flip this round to that side and take out some of that bulk. Now just on that crown area, just be careful that you're not taking out chunks which I'll stick up. So just very finely work around the crown area here, sliding through effortlessly, taking that weight out there. As we get around to that front area, you can put a little bit more pressure on, taking a little bit more out here. This is so simple, it's incredible. I mean, you know, 80% of our work in the salon is actually, you know, at some point we are using razors. 80% of our haircuts will have some sort of razor work on it. I mean, sometimes we'll do a full haircut with a razor, or sometimes we'll mix it up with the scissors, the razors, and all the different types of Donald Scott razors that they do. But this here is giving a real, it's giving a nice texture, but also here, if we want this section here to stick up, maybe we do want this area to have a bit more texture. Put a little bit more pressure on, and your sections that you're cutting will be a little bit more chunky. Now this is what I call hair scaffolding, because the shorter hairs that you cut underneath are supporting the longer lengths on the top, which will give it a lot more, will stick up a little bit more, so you can play around at the end with your product. So let's move on. That's the Donald Scott NYC carving comb, the fine one. I'm going in now with the Stik Pro, the one that I've got the sharp blade on, brand new blade. How many cuts would we get out of one blade? I reckon probably about three or four. But again, the other chopstick, I will have a dull blade on there just for a softer effect, but it's essential that you are using the Donald Scott Prepare to keep your hair, to keep the style lubricated as you work with it. So I can hold the blade perpendicular to the actual sections, and I can just very, very nicely just take out some weight. Now this is seamless. You will never see where we've taken the weight out with this. This is really, really nice. And you can just go in really small sections and take this out. You could use this side, to section off if you like. This is really nice. And one thing that I really like about this razor, we can go in and, for all you hairdressers that like to weave with the highlights, you can literally weave a section out there like that, and again just take out that weight of that section. It's one of my favourites. I've got to say, it is one of my favourites as a Chopstick Pro. Again, there's lots we can do with this one blade, not just the really light way of taking the weight out, but actually we can use it like a pencil. It's called a pencil carve. We can take it out like this. Now I'm actually cutting along the side of my finger here, and it's completely fine because there's a guard on the edge. I don't cut my fingers when I actually cut like this, but it just gives it a little bit of support underneath to be able to get the effect that I want. Which brings me on to this really, really good technique called the peel. So take the section, and like with scissors, you would just cut straight across or chip in, whichever method you choose. With this, we can, against my thumb, sandwich the hair in between and pull up. It's an unbelievable technique, and you can work through the whole haircut like this for the ends. It's absolutely fantastic. Better with a sharp blade, but again, if you want that ultra softness, then use the dull blade too. So again, I don't know if you can see that from there, but you're just sandwiching that hair in between and pulling up to give that technique. So now I'm going to show you the swivel twist. Now this has got 25% cut on this side and 100% on this side. Again, it's a little bit like the carving comb, but you're obviously going to take less out, because on the carving comb you've got 50% cut, on this one you've got 25. So again, going in with the interior structure of the hair, and we're able to take out some weight. Now if you go sort of parallel with the hair, you'll take less, but also if you go a bit more perpendicular to the actual hair section, you can probably take some more out too. So Donald Scott, the inventor of these razors, coined the phrase precision freeform. We all want to cut very, very precisely, but we want that freedom. It's about knowing the rules to break them. It's exactly what it's like. So again, we're going in here into this section, using the 25% cut, straight out. Now, what about the 100% cut side? Because we've not used that yet. So I'm going to show you a nice little cheeky technique where it's called a teaser carve. So literally hold the section like this, and we're just going to go backwards and forwards just to, and you can see that from there. Just cut through the ends. Gives it a real shattered sort of effect on that top. Now, a little bit like when we were doing the peeling earlier, like this. I'm going to take this front section and I'm going to peel, but I'm actually going to use a technique called direct peel. So I'm going to go down into the sections of hair and pull straight up, like this. And this can be really specific when we cut like this, really specific of where we want to take out the hair. Unlike scissors, it's going in, sometimes we take off a little bit more than we actually want, where we can really, really be ultra specific of where we want to take out these pieces of hair. So maybe it feels a little bit heavy here. I can actually bend this back over my finger. I can go in, pencil carve, take that out there. That already is starting to fit. We've used, 3, 4 different techniques, maybe more, to really, really break up that top. We've kept the length, but we've got a fantastic texture throughout the top of this hair. Now, one of the questions is, how do you maintain these blades? How do you maintain your Donald Scott razor? Well, it's simple. You can take out this piece here, and this is where the blades sit. We can take these out here, and we can clean inside. Use a tint brush, perhaps, to clean inside there. The left one goes in first. Be very careful. The left one goes in first. These are not guarded blades, by the way, so you do have to be careful. That goes in, and just sort of secures it in place. There we are. Simple as that. Now, but it's also a good idea to put them in something like barbicide as well to keep them sterilised, but do that without the blades in. So now we're going to look at the neck hair. Now, often we use little clippers or something like that to cut the neck hair, but sometimes it's not close enough. So I'm going to show you a little razor which will be really good for this. But first I'm going to use a prepare against the skin. This is fantastic. It's really, really good. Even I've done full shaves with this, full hot towel cut throat shaves with this. So this is the Donald Scott NYC DSX4 with a guarded blade. We do the naked blades too, but this is the guarded one. This is really, really close. So it's nice and close to the skin. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to be working on this area here. Now, my model's hairline comes into a kind of widow's peak here. So we're going to straighten this hairline up with the Donald Scott NYC DSX4. First, I'm going to put on the prepare to lubricate the hair that I'm going to shave off. I'm going to be using the guarded blade. I could use the naked blade, but I want to show you how close we can actually get with the guarded blade. Now we can do all around the hairline, but this is really, really important that we get a really nice clean line here. So I'm going to show you this first. We stretch the skin slightly. You see how close this gets. It's incredible. That's fantastic. Now we are finished with a fantastic straight hairline without the widow's peak. Done with the Donald Scott NYC DSX4 with a guarded blade. So there we have it, but there's one last thing that I want to show you, and it is the Groom Stik Pro. So the Groom Stik Pro is a little clipper, cheeky little clipper. It does have a little clipper attachment on as well, so you can do that tiny little bit of a fade as well. So I can just trim around the ear here if I want. It's great for patterns as well, for hair tattoos and things like that. I remember from when I shot the BHAs this year for the Men's Hairdresser of the Year, I used this one and the DSX4 to put some really nice patterns in the side of this model's hair. It was brilliant, really, really nice. It just nicely tidies this area up. So this is with the guard on. I can actually just fade in. Back area and just moves up to the next grade and to the next one. So there we have it, some fantastic techniques to go home with, and all on my website, rosscharles.co.uk/shop. They're all on there to buy. Have fun. That's what it's all about. Razor cutting, it is all about fun. Understand the rules, break them, enjoy.